What's up, YouTube? TJ here from Hyper Coliseum, bringing you guys another deck profile today. This week we have Omnimon Ace being brought to you by our very own local Omni-Man himself, Justin, if you want to say hi.
Hey guys, what's up?
So, if you have been watching our commentary videos, if you're someone who's been around the channel for a while, anytime you see Omnimon Ace on the channel at the moment, it's probably Justin, and he's been seeing loads of, I'd say a pretty good amount of success with it. I would say loads. It's been awesome to watch. You pilot the deck very, very well. But before we jump into that, just a few quick things. If you are watching this video and you haven't already subscribed or liked it, you should do that. And if you're seeing the video early, that means you're a member. And pogs to you, good sir. I hear that people that are members of our channel are 10% more swole and cool and neat and stuff. And but yeah, so with that, and if you aren't a member already, consider becoming one. You know, we do these deck profiles like this for members early, and we have more members exclusive content that is going to be rolling out soon. The next bit of stuff should be rolling out probably in the next month or so, I think. So something to consider. But yeah, so I think that's about it from me. It's enough of the little jibber jabber. I'll go ahead and hand it off to you, Justin.
All right, so this is my Omnimon Ace build. A lot of you will see it is different from a regular build in the sense that I don't run any Agumons. And the reason being is I just feel like an Agumon base is more consistent, believe it or not. But yeah, to start off with the profile, I run 4 Coromon, or just 4 eggs, and it's the BT-14 Coromon. Right now, it's the best draw card that Red has. And then 4 of the brand new BT-17 Agumon, who can Digivolve on Coral for 0. Start a main. If I have a tie, then I can return a Garuru, Gray, or Omni from trash to hand. So he's just good for getting your pieces back. And he also has the end of turn DNA that says that I can DNA at the end of turn. Next, I run 4 of the BT-14 Agumon, who says start a main. If I have a tie, then he can just Digivolve into a Greymon in hand for free, which works great with the new BT-17 Greymon, which I'll do eventually.
Yeah.
And then he has the your turn inheritable to give plus 2k to a Gray or an Omni, which is great because Omni is 15, and while 15 is pretty high, if he runs into something else that's 15, he will die, and when he dies, he overflows, and when he overflows, your turn's over. Next, I'm running 3 of the EX4 Agumon, who says that start a main. If I have a red or yellow Tamer, I'll gain a memory, and has the inheritable that says that if a red or yellow Tamer gets suspended, then I can draw a card. So I wasn't running this at first. This is probably the last addition that I made to the deck, and I actually got this idea from Jeremy, someone else who goes to Sully's on Thursdays.
Yes, sir.
Because he saw that I was running an all Agumon list and was like, "Oh, you should run the EX4 Agu because you know it's a red source. He can Digivolve on top of Coral for 1, and in addition to those, this deck, like most DNA decks, you want to see all your pieces as soon as physically possible. And aside from the BT-12 Agumon, there aren't a lot of in-game searchers, so you have to rely on draw. And the new tie and match suspend themselves, so if you happen to have a Greymon over this Agumon, then you can net an extra draw off of that. So it's rare, but it can happen, and when it does, it's usually useful because, again, more draw, more consistency. Yeah. And then the last 3 I'm running is the BT-12 Agumon, who says on play, reveal top 4, add a Gray or Omni and a tie, and has the all turns plus 1k to a Greymon or Omni. Now, I was running this at 4 at first, because, you know, he is the only in archetype searcher. You can search out your Greymons and your ties, but when you play this card and I search top 4 and I bot deck a Metal Guru, it feels really bad. So I came to the conclusion that a lot of the times I want to use some of my other draw options first just to see if I can get the one Metal Guru in hand, and then after that, I don't have a problem playing it, and then searching for a War Grey or a Omni or one of my mini ties.
Yeah, when you sent me the list and I was looking over it and I saw it was like full like Agu like Gravis, I was like, this is neat. But it makes sense because like it does feel like right now in the game, weirdly, even though blue's a color that was like known for its draw before, it feels like red has gotten better at drawing than blue as time's gone on.
No, I don't know if I'd say that. I'd just say that red has more options that just say draw cards.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. I guess maybe it's just the
Um,
BT-14 Koromon that just kind of like he became such a good draw card.
Yeah, no, this is, and it's so funny because I remember people thought that the Coromon was gonna be bad when it first came out,
Yeah.
and now it's everywhere. So.
Yeah, it's like it's the go-to. Let's continue. Sorry.
No, you're fine. And then I only run one champion, and that is the BT-17 Greymon. So I've seen lists where people say you don't need this card for this deck, and I'll tell you right now, they are completely wrong. I'm sorry, but this card does so much for this deck. So for those who don't know, he's a white level 4, digivolves from 3 on top of a red, blue, yellow, or green level 3. You know, we have Agumons of all those colors, so that makes sense. Or just for 2 on top of a Agumon in name. He has 3 effects. So first, when digivolving, if this Digimon is Koromon in name, gain plus 3k DP for the turn, and then delete one of your opponent's Digimon with as much or less DP. And then all turns, he has all the names of the level 3s under him, so he is Koromon. He always will be. As long as there's one under him, he will always be a Koromon, and he always gain that plus 3k DP. Mm-hmm. And then on deletion, you can play a Tai or Kari in name from your hand without paying the cost, or hatch an egg in your breeding area. And that on deletion is also its inheritable effect. So I don't run any of the new Tai and Kari. I did it first, but the more I played it, the more I found I don't like it. Only because this deck is already slow, and Tai and Kari don't really help. Like, sure, it's nice to play them and then bot deck and draw a card, but if you don't already have a Tai in hand, you're kind of just waiting and just sitting on them. And I'd rather just play other cards that just draw me cards. And then also, because he has an on deletion effect, you don't mind just ramming this into security and hoping that it dies so that you can play a tie for free. Mm-hmm. And then another thing about this card, so there's this little combo that you can do. Because it counts as a Koromon, you can loop Gray into Agu and Gray into Agu, and you can, as much Agumons and Greymons as you have, as long as you have the memory, you can just keep doing it. So there have been times where I've had Agumon as the top end and 2 Greymons in the sources, and then I've swung on a suspended Digimon with a lot of DP on purpose to kill the Greymon and then play 2 Tamers. And then also, because of the Wind Digivolving, it's also just a great, like, control tool. Like, if you Digivolve him out of Raising, he's gonna be at least 8k, because he's 5k, and then the Wind Digivolve and give him 3. And then if you have the BT-14 Koromon under him, it's an extra 2k, making him 10. If you do a loop and you go into another BT-14 Agu and then Gray again, it's an extra 2k from the heritable and 3k from the Digivolution, so you're looking at 8, 10, 13, like 15k.
Yeah, like huge numbers.
And it sounds crazy, but I actually did it. I did it on Thursday against I forgot his name. Is it Jorge, the guy who was playing Heavy Leo?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was able to get a Greymon up to 13k and delete a Heavy Leo.
That's crazy. And it's, and the control it offers too, like being able to like hit things, like just being like, with how many decks just run like smaller bodies that can like just wide board very quickly, the control early is very nice as well. on top of the
Yeah,
DP game.
because you wanna stall a little bit until you can see all
Yeah,
your pieces. So
for sure.
yeah, he definitely helps. And then with the BT-14 Agu, if I go straight out of raising and I have a tie, I can go into this for free.
Hmm.
So that's all the champions, no ultimates. So I'll go to the Megas. So I run 4 of the new War Greymon, who says that he can Digivolve on top of a Greymon for 3, but that won't happen because there's no ultimates. Um, so he says when I have a tie on board, and I can reduce his play cost by 3, so I'll always be playing him for 8. And then he has an on play when Digivolving. I can activate one of the following effects, which are delete an AK or lower, or warp Gabumon into a Metal Guru.
Hmm.
So I'll never get that effect off because no Gabumons. But usually the like warping Agu into him and getting the deletion is enough. Like you can just pop an ultimate.
Hmm.
And then he has the when attacking inheritable that if the Digimon on top is an Omnimon, then I can trash top card of security. So trashing cards is always good.
Yeah.
The less cards I have to actually check, the less chances I run into a big body that could kill the Omni Ace. So yeah, and then trashing options that would hinder me, like a ice wall or any type of removal option or a tamer is also pretty nice.
Hmm.
And then next, I'm running 4 of the new Metal Garurumon, who says if I have a mat, I can play him for reduced cost of 3. So if I have tie and mat, I will be playing him for 8.
Hmm.
And then he has one on play / when Digivolving, I can suspend a Digimon or Tamer until the end of their turn, or warp Agumon into a War Greymon. So I don't. Oh yeah, and then the inheritable that says when attacking, I can if it's Omnimon on top, I can unsuspend.
Yeah.
So I'm only running the new War Gray and the new Metal Guru because they are. So this deck does have a win condition, and they are very important to that win condition. Like I want both of them. I want
Hmm.
both inheritables. Like the BT-15 Metal Guru is nice, being able to stun up to 3 things and attack twice and evade, but he doesn't have the inheritable, which
Hmm.
I want, and no Gabumons, so I'm not getting that off.
Hmm.
So, and then with all the draw options, or all the cards that I have to draw cards in this deck,
Hmm.
you usually see them pretty consistently.
Yeah.
Especially if I play those options before I play the BT-12, there's a less chance of breaking the Metal Guru, or not, or bot decking the Metal Guru.
Right.
Yep, and then on to the level 7s, I am running 5. I am running 3 of the man himself, Omnimon Ace. He digivolves for 5 on top of a red or blue level 6, which I've sometimes had to do. And then his DNA requirements are a level 6 with Greymon in name and a level 6 with Garurumon in name. And then he is a blast DNA, so I can't just, unless it's my turn, I can't just ace regularly. I have to have either a War Gray or a Metal Guru on board and then have the other in hand, which is a blessing and a curse, because it's like, usually when people swing, they'll be like, oh, maybe he doesn't have it, and then they'll swing, and then I'll have it in hand. And then, if I have both on board and both in hand, this hasn't come up really, but I could potentially do it twice. So he's inheritable, raid, and blocker. On play / when digivolving. If DNA digivolving, I can choose one of my opponent's Digimon and return it and all of their Digimon with the same level to the bottom of the deck, and then delete something.
Just a
So go
a
ahead.
quick addendum. You can't. You can only ace evo once per counter timing. You can't ace evo twice during counter timing.
Oh yeah, I know that. I meant like if they were to swing again.
Oh, I got you. Okay. Sorry. Keep going.
Which again is no, you're fine. Which again has never happened, but it could potentially.
If they somehow keep a board state after.
Right. Which again, so what makes this card so good is it is, if you've never played against it, it is a board wipe. Because a lot of, so deletion is not the strongest form of removal right now, but if they, you can the bot deck is great because it is it's a reference to the movie. You know, you bot deck one thing of, and then you bot deck everything else at the same level. So that's a reference to Diaboro, because even the tokens are level 6. So you could get rid of a token. You can target a token or Diaboro himself, and then you're getting rid of everything. And then after that, he deletes, and then he's a blocker. So you can bot deck a bunch of cards, delete a card, and then block. And I actually had that come up, not last week, but the week before, the one where I actually topped with this list. I was playing against, I forgot the guy's name. He was playing Fish Deck.
Palal.
Yeah, so he had, what did he have? His board consisted of 2 Aegistramons, the level 6, which I'm not going to try to pronounce.
Zhangpang.
Yep, Zhangpang, and the level 5. And I think what he did was he swung with Zhangpang. I blast evoed into Omni Ace. I bot decked the 2 Aegistramons, deleted the level 5, and then just blocked the Zhangpang.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's wild.
Yep. And then, but that being said, his big weakness is that he's an ace. So if he leaves the board, if I can't ace again, then I'll probably lose. But usually when I go into Omni, I try to go for game. And then I am only, this current list that I'm using is only running 3, only because there have been plenty of games where I've had like 4, all 4 in hand, and couldn't really do anything. Wish they were something else, like another Tamer or another draw card. So again, with all the draw that I have in this deck, my hope is to just find all my pieces, and hopefully when I do go into the Omni, I'm going for game. And then if not, again, there's a lot of draw in this deck, so I'm more than likely to see at least 2 a game.
Yeah.
And then even if they go to trash with the new Agu, I can grab it back. And then the other 2 level 7s I'm running are Alter B, who can Digivolve for 2 on top of an Omnimon, any Omnimon. When Digivolving, he can de-Digivolve 3 and then delete something with a play cost of 6 or less. Which is pretty good because de-Digivolve is very good this format with all the aces.
Yeah.
And the red and blue hybrid who have deletion effects. So. And then he has the when attacking effect that says by trashing up to 3 level 6 or higher Digimon and sources, I can delete a Digimon or Tamer with the lowest play cost for each card trashed, and then if I trash 3 cards, trash top 2 cards of the opponent's security, and yeah, Alter B is your win condition. So how it works is it's weird how, like, I don't know how to describe it. You obviously need resources, because it being a DNA deck and all.
Right.
But essentially how it is all I need to do is have the opponent at 4 when I go into Omni Ace. Because so how it works is I swing with one of my Agus. If it lives, it lives. If it dies, it dies. Then that'll put him at 4. And then when I go into Omni Ace, I swing. Wargrave will trash the security. That'll put him at 3. Metal Guru will unsuspend. And then they'll check. And then they'll be at 2. Granted, the Omni didn't die. And then just go into Alter B. The Tai and Mat have an end of turn effect where Omnimon can attack. So even if I were to pass turn, as long as I have them, I can swing with Alter B, use his when attacking to trash Wargrave, Metal Guru, and the Omni Ace. Trashing the Omni Ace will overflow, so you'll lose 5, but by that point, it doesn't matter because they only have 2 security left, and then you trash those 2 security, and then wait for game.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's so good.
Go ahead.
It's so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. The end of turn being able to basically have like pseudo blitz from the tie and mat is so good. It helps really because then it makes all these like super like memory intense plays like not matter as much.
Mm-hmm. And then it doesn't like, I don't know, you don't feel bad that you're on the back foot for most of the game because again, as long as you get that one check in early and you see your pieces and you don't
turn.
Yeah, and you don't hit anything bad in security, then you're good.
Yeah.
Yep, so that's all the level 7s. Now on to the Tamers. So because this is an Agumon build, and because the BT-12 Agu only searches ties, and Greymon only plays ties, I only play ties. So, or ties in name, I should say.
Yeah.
So the main one being the one we just talked about, the BT-17 Tai and Mat, who are 4 costs, who say that all turns when one of my Digimon are played or Digivolves, I can suspend them and then gain a memory for a Greymon and then gain a memory for a Garurumon. And then end of turn, if you have a Digimon with Omnimon in name, it can attack a player. So these 2 make or break the deck, really. Like, if I don't see them, then I'm probably gonna lose. And they just, they do so much. I need them to play the option. I need them to not give my opponent all the memory in the world when I'm hard playing my Metal Guru or Wargrave. Cause like, and then if you have multiple on board, they stack. And they're better than the EX4. It's funny, you can run these in Alter S, and I would make an argument that these are way better than EX4 Tai and Mat, because while EX4 is just on play, this is on play or when digivolving.
Yeah.
So you can proc it whenever you want. You can proc it when I play Agu. I can proc it when I play a Mega. I can proc it when I digivolve. There have been a lot of times where I've had one of them out early game, and I've procced them on digivolving into the Greymon to save turn, to gain that memory and not pass turnover. And then they also work well with the EX4 Agu because they are a red tamer. So, they'll suspend and I'll draw a card. In addition to gaining memory, I'll draw a card.
Yeah.
And then the only other tamer I'm running is the BT6 Tai, the one that was made for Agumon, but ironically works with any Agumon or Greymon strategy. So just like the BT6 Mat, if you move up Agu or a Grey from raising, you can gain a memory and draw a card. And then they can help you warp into Agumon, but there are no Agumons in this deck, so I'm never using that effect. So what made me decide to use this card is that I have a lot of red options that draw cards. So I always want at least one red source so that I can use those options. And then it also incentivizes me not to just sit in the back. Like, if I get a tie or get this tie out pretty early, I don't have no problem moving up, gain a memory, drawing a card, and then swing with my Agu. If it lives, it lives. If it dies, it dies. Next turn, hatch an egg, digivolve into another Agu, and then that following turn, I can do it again.
Pretty good. It also helps against Emperor too, right? Who's pretty prevalent in the meta even still now after the Uko hits.
Yes. I actually forgot about that. Yes, it does help against Emperor a lot, considering that I run a lot of rookies.
Right.
And, if all else fails, I will rookie rush for game. and have before. So yeah, no, this helps mitigate Emperor trying to steal my turn. And then like it is weird not running a memory setter. I was running the starter deck tie at first just to, you know, have a memory setter that's a tie and being able to give a Digimon extra DP if I were to get blocked or redirected. Only problem I had was that I ran into a game where I had the BT-17 tie-in mat and the starter deck tie in hand, and I played the starter deck instead so that I could be guaranteed memory every turn. And then digivolved into the BT-17 Greymon in Raising, and I didn't have a red source. So I couldn't play any of my draw options. And I was just stuck. So I was like, yeah, I don't ever want that to happen again. So I ultimately took out the starter deck ties for the BT6 one.
Yeah.
And I don't regret it. He's not a memory setter, but he is at the same time. And then he works well with the EX4 Agu because start a main. If I have a red Tamer, I'll gain a memory. So if I have at least one of him and move up the EX4, I get at least 2 memory.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the more ties I have, the more memory I'll get. If I happen to have another EX4 on board, I'll gain another memory. So
yeah, it makes you very memory efficient in a deck that I think probably, you know, it needs all the memory it can get.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's it for the Tamers, and then on to the options. I am running 11. The first being the new option, the Miraculous Mega Knight, that says that I can play a Agumon or Gabumon from hand or trash. Then it goes in the battle area, and then it has the all turns that when a level 6 Greymon or Garurumon would leave the battle area outside of battle, I can DNA Digivolve into an Omni in hand, or Omni in name from the hand. And then it has the security effect that I can play a tie or mat in name from my hand or trash, and then I add this to hand. So along with the tie and mat, along with the Greymon, this card also. Well, no, I won't say this card makes or breaks the deck because you can win without this card. I have before, but needless to say, it helps a lot because yeah, if they were to try to get rid of one of my megas, I can just say no.
Yeah,
and go to Omni.
It can bottleneck your opponent into being like, yeah, I can still ace Evo even if you don't swing, and I can still punish your board if you just try and remove me before you attack.
And then
good.
Yeah, very good. That being said, you're probably wondering why I only run 3 instead of 4, and unlike the other options, there's no alternate condition to play it. I need tie and mat out.
Yeah.
So, I don't really want to see it early. Like I want to see tie and mat first before I play this. And then 3 is still a lot. 3 is enough where I'll usually see at least one a game, and then if it gets hit in security, I can still play one of my ties for free and then add it to hand. And then it's also good because being able to play those Agus is really important. If I am missing a Wargrey or an Omni, I can play this and then either play a Agu from play the BT-12 Agu either from my hand or from trash to get an extra search in. Or if there's no way for me to go into Omni without passing turn and they've got a decent little board, I can use it to go into the BT-17 Agu and play him. If I don't pass turn, play Metal Garuru, Metal Garuru effect, Digivolve into Wargrey, and then get that end of turn DNA.
Yeah.
Yep, and then the last 4 options are all the aforementioned red draw options that I was talking about. The first being Fireball, which is a 2-cost red card back from EX2 that says delete a Digimon with 3k DP or less, and then if I didn't, draw 2 cards. Yeah. So my biggest argument for not running the Gabumons is that I get what the Gabumon's trying to do in the sense that, start a main, you move up, you draw a card. It's nice. Only problem with that is you need mat to proc that effect.
Yeah.
And I'm not always gonna have high and mat when I want or as early as I want.
Right.
So I was like, what's a way that I can draw more cards and draw whenever I want? So I was like, oh, the red option. I'm like, okay, well I can't play them unless I have a red source, which led to the all Agumon. And it just happened to work. It sounds weird not using the archetype specific cards, but you can attest to this. You've seen me play.
No, I've seen.
It,
I've seen. It's
yeah, no,
it's nice just to have the extra just straight up draw consistency rather than like a search or something like that, because you don't want to bottom deck other pieces too. So being able to just raw draw cards is really helpful. And on top of that too, they're also not just draw cards. They also can remove small bodies. Like they give you the ability to help control the board even a bit more. Like if it's like early rush days.
yeah, it's also just like the Greymon. It's another form of control. Like there'll be times where people try to rookie rush me, or they have way more bodies than me because again, this deck is kind of slow. So hence you want to draw as much as you can.
Yeah.
I played against a Magnamon deck, and I was able to clear 3 bodies off of a Fireball, a Greymon, and the next option.
Oh, nice.
So, being able to draw my cards and control boards is very nice.
Sorry,
and then
I'm
the
sneezing.
security effect is this. Oh, no, you're good. Bless you.
That was just a kick in the ass. Keep going.
And then the security effect is the main effect. So, yeah, if they don't have a big body on board, I'm netting 2 cards off of the opponent checking this insecurity.
Or a small body, rather.
Yeah. Believe it or not, a lot of the times I can proc this. I proc this when obviously if they don't have a small body. But with the Greymon, it's easy to control board so that I can play this card and be able to get the draw.
Yeah.
And then the last card that I'm playing is the BT-4 red option, Air of Dragons. So, unlike Fireball, there's no condition. The first effect is draw 2, and then it has a secondary effect that if I have a Greymon on board, I can delete an opponent's Digimon with 4k DP or less. And then the security effect is the same thing. So draw 2 cards, and if I have a Greymon, delete a small body.
Yeah.
If it isn't obvious by now, I am a Greymon stan. Agumon and Greymon are 2 of my favorite Digimon, and Omnimon, for that matter, which is why I've been trying so hard to make this deck work.
Yeah.
But no, ever since it came out, I've always loved this card. I always use it whenever I can. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like this deck just confirms it. Like, I just draw 2 cards.
Yeah.
And kill stuff. And then also, I think about it like this: most search rookies are 3 costs. This is the equivalent of playing a search rookie because it's a 3 cost, and then newer search rookies net you 2 cards, and then bot deck everything else. With this, I'm not bot decking anything. I'm always gonna net 2.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it adds to your consistency, which I feel like I've seen so many times. With just like your hand size gets kind of crazy. Like you'll draw so many cards and be in like such a good spot. You have all the pieces you need, and it's really really cool to see.
Yep, but that's it. That's the deck.
Yeah. Well, thank you for going through it all and giving us like that was good. That was in depth. You explained combos and stuff too, and how certain interactions work. It was awesome. Just a couple of questions for you. Tech choices. Are there any cards you could see yourself like swapping in or changing out, like just to like sort of combat maybe like other things you might be struggling with currently in the meta, or things that might be coming up soon with EX7 and Special Booster 2.0 on the horizon?
I haven't really thought about much into future sets as far as what I would change for that, but tech choices. Um, I don't know. I think the only thing that I would really switch out is, again, maybe taking something out for the starter deck tie, because while it's not a red source, it's still, in my opinion, it's the best. I mean, there's only two, that and BT-1, but out of the two, I think it's the better memory setter, just because of how generic it is. If an attack target is redirected, that can be a block, that could be a redirect. You can give one of your guys plus 2k and draw a card.
Yeah.
I'd say that's useful for any deck that redirects, like Magnamon or Tyrant, or even Dex Doru, the Dex Doru deck that's running around, just for that extra DP and that extra draw to make sure that Omni lives. So an argument can be made for that. Maybe taking out one of the cards for a fourth Miraculous Mega Knight, because again, while you don't need it, it's always very nice to have, because it just says try to get rid of my guys,
right,
and then I can Omni Ace.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, maybe switching some of the Agumons around. Like if you're really, really, really worried about finding your Omni, especially because again, I'm only running 4, and sorry, I don't know if you heard that or not.
It's okay, don't worry, you're good.
Maybe adding an extra BT-14 Agu, or not BT-14, BT-12 Agu to get the extra search off, because I'm only running 3 Omnis. So if you're not comfortable with just running draw cards and want to guarantee that you see your Omni soon, or you see one of your ties soon, maybe adding an extra of him and taking out anything else. But no, I think that's really it, because you need the BT-17 Agu for the end of turn and to grab pieces back, and I think that you need the BT-14 too, because being able to get a 10k Greymon that can delete something up to 10k is super nice, and they're the main two that I feel like you want to digivolve into and raising. So
okay, nice. All right, and then I guess like best and worst matchups. Like, what do you think your deck does best against? What do you think it struggles with the most? If you want to just like spitball a few off the top of your head.
The decks that I've played against with this deck have been very random. It's like very few and far between.
Our locals has been kind of weird recently. I think everyone's kind of star crazy. Everyone's playing just like a lot of out of pocket stuff.
Well, actually, I take that back. This deck definitely has a worst matchup, and I played it. This week. Mirage.
That's true. If they hit the Air of Dragons or Fireball out of security.
Yeah, no. This deck is designed to draw cards.
Yeah.
And, as long as you have a lot of cards,
Mirage
is in a good place.
That's true. I think this will actually come out after that video airs, I believe. I might have to double check.
If you're talking about the game that me and Ben played, you'll see Mirage. Spoilers. Mirage kind of
potential spoilers. How do you feel about decks like Tyrant, where it's just like got all the Digimon immunities?
That's another thing I was gonna say. Mirage and any deck that really has some type of immunity, you'll kind of struggle with, because your main form of getting rid of Digimon is via other Digimon, whether it be the BT-17 Greymon, or the Wargrey, or Omni Ace, or Alter B. As long as they have immunization to Digimon effects, you're not in a very good spot.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that being said, I'd say this deck's worst matchups are definitely Mirage. I haven't had a chance to test it yet, but it probably wouldn't do too well into Tyrant.
Mm.
Um, and then it kind of struggles against Ragnalord if they can get the immunization.
Yeah.
But if they don't, then you can win. And I can actually say that with confidence because I played Stack my first week of playing this and
Yeah.
took it 2-1.
Nice.
Um yeah, I won't say that this deck has a best matchup in particular because again, as long as they don't have any type of immunization and you don't see anything bad in security, then you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, another thing. I guess it does kind of struggle against decks that have D-Digivolve. Because, if they D-Digivolve the ace, you're passing turn.
Kind of just hurting.
But again, that being said, this week I played I played Jorge and he was playing Leo, and I thought that he would have, just been able to rumple stomp me because of all the D-Digivolve. But depending on what you have in hand and how your board state is, you can actually take it. Because I came into a situation where I deleted his Heavy Leo. He D-Digivolved Omni and it passed turn. So I just had a War Gray with the Metal Guru under it. And then the next turn he swung, and thankfully I had another Metal Guru in hand, and I was able to do it again. So
nice. All right.
Yep. And then I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. No, keep going.
And then Magna. This deck surprisingly has a decent matchup into Magna. If they swing without their immunization, then I can ace and bot deck the Magna. And then with the Fireball and Air Dragons and Greymon, I can control board pretty decently. Diaboro, despite being able to bot deck their whole board, I think Diaboro, it's 50-50. It's whoever sees their stuff first. Because again, D-Digivolve can really mess with this deck. And they have a decent amount of it. And then I would also say this deck surprisingly has a good matchup against Dex Doru, if I see my stuff first, and Fenry.
Yeah, I imagine the bottom decking probably helps a lot.
Yeah, that, and if they, when they go into Takamikazuchi, they're guaranteed to get rid of something, and if they try to get rid of something, it'll proc the option, and
then you go into Omni, and then you just get rid of their Fenry.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. Anything else?
No. I guess I'm actually, I'll just say that I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Don't apologize. You're good.
I will say that again, with Omnimon being one of my favorite Digimon, and this deck not being considered tier 1 because of everything else running around, it feels good. Like, making a deck, optimizing it the best you can, and seeing results with it. It's just I don't know. It just comes to show that, like, yeah, and like unlike other card games, at least I feel like Digimon, one of the things that makes it so great is that any deck, as long as it has something, even if it's just one card that can like combat the meta in some way, shape, or form, it's viable. Like,
yeah,
I would say this, don't let fear of the meta stop you from, messing around with decks.
Playing what you want to play. Playing what you love.
Right. Yeah. But I guess that's it. Other than that, I guess thanks for having me. Thanks for the interview. Shout out to the Hyper Coliseum crew and everyone that goes to Sully's Abode and Dean's. If you guys haven't been, I highly suggest going it. Everyone there is cool. It's just good vibes.
Thank you, Chief. Appreciate you. Yeah, and thank you for coming on and doing this. I know it was super last minute, so I really appreciate it. But yeah, so that's gonna be it for us this week, guys. Members, again, thank you for being a member, for being part of the crew. And for everyone else seeing this a couple days later, hope you guys enjoy the profile. I mean, hope everybody enjoys the profile in general. Justin did a banger job. This is such a good profile.
Thanks. I felt like I was rambling a little bit.
No,
So
you're
sorry
good.
about that.
No, that's all right. I think it's nice to discuss things about the deck, and you did very good job of kind of going in depth with everything. So I think it's fine. But yeah, so that's gonna be it. If you have watched this far and you haven't already liked the video, please do so. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, do that. Our subscriber to non-subscriber view ratio is swapping. So I appreciate you guys for subbing, and think about becoming a member and doing that stuff if you're not already one. And we'll catch you in Ben's famous words, we'll catch you on that flippy flip. All right. Bye-bye.